Hi guys, Princess Anna again, coming on live just while I've got a little bit of time. It shouldn't take too long, today's live. Not nearly as long as yesterday's live, because yesterday I went through, if you watched it, the entire contents of my modeling work suitcase and what I take to every shoot. So today I thought I'd narrow it down to my makeup bag, just to show you the makeup that I use as a professional model, because normally these days, and quite a lot of models are self-employed like myself, so when we turn up to a job, we'll be expected to do our own makeup or turn up ready-made, already done up, as opposed to them having a makeup artist. I do some jobs where there's a makeup artist, but generally I do my own makeup a lot of the time. And also content creation, I do that as well. That's why I've got makeup on today at home. I've been spending the morning doing content creation, so let's get myself dolled up for that. So the first thing I start with my makeup routine is primer. Now I like the Urban Decay All Nighter one. They originally became famous because of their setting spray, which is also awesome. So when they brought out the face primer, I thought I'm going to give that one a go because I expect it's going to be really good. It's quite hard to tell whether a primer's working because either your makeup's staying on or it's not, and so many variables can affect that, like the weather, how warm I am, the humidity in the air, what I'm doing, how often I'm getting changed, that kind of stuff. So sometimes my makeup doesn't stay, it might be staying on anyway, but I always think a decent product like Urban Decay All Nighter is a good place to start. After I put my primer on, I put my Estee Lauder foundation on. Now this was recommended to me by another model who has really similar skin to me and really similar skin colour to model, Ashley Ashton, if you want to know her name. We've worked together loads of times, worked really well together. She's actually moved up north, like really far away now, so I don't really get to see her that much, but we used to do loads of work together. There's loads of stuff all over the internet of us together. We're great. And she recommended this, and it's Estee Lauder Double Wear makeup that's really, it goes on really lightweight, but you can build it to be quite high coverage, because obviously I'm not wearing makeup just to pop down, like go out for lunch somewhere. I'm wearing makeup that's going to be seen on camera with high definition cameras, and also under studio lights or under photographer lights, you can look quite, it kind of accentuates all the details, like all your blemishes, your under eye bags, all that kind of stuff. So generally, models, when they're on camera, if you're going on camera, you're going to need quite high coverage stuff. So that's why I like this, because it's quite high coverage to start with, but it's not thick and gloopy, and you can just put more and more on as you want. You can top it up and it doesn't look patchy. I love it. I've been buying this one for years now. I can't remember the last time I bought a different foundation, so definitely one. It's a bit heavy if you just, as I say, popping out for a drink, just going out for lunch with your mates. But if you're going out in the evening, I love this one. And for photography, I love Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Next up, I have concealer that goes under my eyes and around my nose, because obviously that's where you get darker patches, or they can be quite red sometimes as well. So depending on how much coverage I need, I have 3 different types of concealer here. Just going to find my third one. It's in there somewhere. It's in here, that's where it is. This is my little, again, what was I saying yesterday about Amazon gift bags? This is one of the mini gift bags. So if I'm going out in the evening and I just want to take a couple of things to top up, like a lipstick and powder or something, I'll put that and I'll put them in there and then put them in my handbag. That's why I've got that in there. So I've got 3 different types of concealer depending on what level of coverage I need. If I'm just going out like during the day with friends or something, I know it's a cliche, but Touche Éclat Radiant Concealer, what's it called? Yeah, that's it called. Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat one. It was a 90s classic. It still works. It's really easy to put on. It's not the heaviest of coverage, but that's fine if you just want the kind of a natural look and you just want to brighten under your eyes and around your nose. I love that one. The brush is super easy to use as well. But for work, I'll either be using the Benefit, how do you pronounce this? Is it Boeing, something like that? I can't remember, I can't read it. My eyes are going in my old age. This one anyway, concealer, I really like. Or this Blunder cover that I've used. I came across this, I think it was in the Sunday Times magazine, because everything the Sunday Times recommends is brilliant. So Sunday Times Magazine, if they're saying something in the beauty industry, doesn't matter what budget it is, sometimes it's budget stuff, sometimes it's really expensive stuff. If they say it's good, it always is, so I just trust them and it works. But that is very, very high coverage, so that's really useful if you know you're not going to be under the kind of lighting where sometimes it can be a bit much, sometimes you can be a bit thick, and you can look fake. You don't want it too light on your eyes, or you get that kind of ski goggle look where you've got white around your eyes. But if you need heavy coverage, you've got a really bad spot, you just need to cover up like that, Blunder Cover is amazing, else the Benefit version is great. Then we've got not one but two types of powder. The first is just a setting spray. This one is a really cheap Revolution one. I do love the setting spray I was using before. I think was the Urban Decay one. There was one I was using a different, no it wasn't, it was Huda Beauty, that was it, Huda Beauty baking powder. That's the one my sister recommended to me, because my sister is a makeup artist. We don't work together, but she just happens to do that. So first off, I use like a baking powder. That's the setting spray. The first time I ever used that, and I never heard of it, was at our other sister's wedding in 2019. And I'd already done my makeup. She was there busy being the makeup artist for my sister and the wedding party, the rest of the wedding party. And I was saying how I had, you know, my little bag of touch-up thing. And she goes, oh no, let me do this to you. And she pulls out her baking powder, her Huda Beauty baking powder, who I'd never heard of. And she taps it under my eyes there, where you want the concealer to stay on. And sort of your forehead and your T-zone, where it can get a little bit oily, and that can make makeup slip as well. You can see where my chin's shiny now, because I haven't touched up my makeup in a couple of hours. I haven't touched up my powder, so my natural oils in my skin are coming through. I don't have a greasy face, but the light is picking up the natural oils. Can you see that? And that's why you need more powder under heavy lights in a studio setting. That's why you need that thicker, more matte kind of makeup. So she puts this stuff, back to my story, she puts this stuff under my eyes and on my T-zone. I'm not joking. 4 a.m. later, I've drunk a lot of champagne by this point. I am not in a good state whatsoever, but my makeup is immaculate. I'm like, this is genius. Like, if that makes it stay on at a wedding, dancing the night away, sweating, drinking champagne, spilling champagne on myself. We were all pretty drunk at that wedding. Brilliant night. Like, how is it that my makeup's still intact? That's the only thing I'd ever done differently, was use that, and I've never not used it since, setting powder. The next one I use all over my face. Now, this is a relatively recent discovery of mine. It's called Kiko. Now, I discovered this accidentally by going on Amazon looking for high coverage powders, because again, for the same reasons as you need high coverage foundation and concealers when you're doing photographic or video work, you need high coverage powders, and powders that are gonna cover as well as soak up. So I just put some of that on there. Can you see the difference already? Just like that. Can you see that shine has gone? And that's what I'll be doing throughout the day, throughout a shoot. I tend to do it every time I get changed, or every time we do a different scene or something like that. But you just seen, if you were on before when I was pointing out my shiny chin, look how I just gone like that, and it's gone. Magic. That's the power of powder for you. So I love this Kiko one because of its high coverageness, because it gives me that ever so slight bit of coverage on things like scars, spots, under eye bags, blemish, anything like that. It does the job of covering as well as getting rid of the shine. So that's why I love that one. What do I do next? Eyeshadow. Now, this is going to be really personal to you and your colouring and the style of look you're going for. But you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see that there. All I've got for me, as someone pale skin, I've got green eyes, and just the kind of style of makeup I do, I go for glam, but not particularly smoky. I do a little bit of smoking later with my eyeliner, I'll show you. But otherwise, I keep it fairly kind of natural in terms of colours, because also my branding is kind of like Girl Next Door as well. It is like it's the MILF next door. It's kind of a natural, your neighbour kind of person. I'm not going for some kind of crazy cosplay character type stuff. I'm just being a little bit more glammed up. So this is a L'Oreal one. This is one I picked up in one of those discounts places, there's discount outlets in Kent when I was working for a couple of companies in Kent, and where they put me up in the hotel is right near one of those discount places. You know, you get all the, it's a discount beauty place. And I've got so much stuff in there, but for me, for my daughters, little bits, they've got toiletries. I love it. And this is just a really simple, this is just me. Things like your colouring will depend on you, but it's a goldy colour there. And it picks up the light, and it just kind of brightens my eyes a little bit. That's what I do there. The next thing I do, see, this is all really simple stuff. One day, I'll tell you what I'll do one day, is I'll put my makeup on live from start to finish, and you'll be able to see me doing all of these. Maybe that's what I'll do. I have to get brave enough to go without makeup on live, won't I, and show you my ugly face. Right. Just kidding. Right. So, eyeliner. I have almond-shaped eyes, but they're not particularly massive. So when I do eyeliner, I just do a line across the top and then a little flick. And then I blend it, hence the smoky thing I was telling you about before. I blend it using a brush that I can't find. Slightly smudge it across the top to kind of smudge it in and make it not quite so harsh and drawn on. Slightly smudge that, and then drag kind of the leftovers a little bit under the eye. So I do have a little bit of eyeliner going under the eye as well, but it's not been drawn on. It's just kind of what's left on the brush, so it's a lot lighter and a lot gentler, and it creates a kind of slightly smoky effect. So that's what I do with my eyeliner. Then I go all in with the mascaras, because I don't like fake eyelashes. I don't like fake many things, if I'm being honest. Not on other people, that's not a judgment. It's just for me personally. All right, I got my boobs done, but the difference is I didn't want fake looking boobs. What I wanted was my old boobs back from when I was younger. I had boobs just like this. Then I breastfed. Then they were empty sacs, so I filled them up. So I didn't really want the fake look. And I don't like that with eyelashes. What it was is, a few years ago I was under a lot of stress, and a friend recommended that I get my eyelashes done because it would make me look a bit perkier and more awake, because I looked exhausted and really tired and really worn down. And she recommended that I get those individual lashes put on, and it did the job perfectly. But after about 4 to 6 weeks, or maybe even longer, having them done and redone, I began to feel anxious as to what I would look like if I didn't have these eyelashes on, and thinking that I would be too ugly and unattractive and look awful without these eyelashes. And that feeling didn't sit well with me, because I have 2 daughters who, they're now teenagers, but they were tweens at the time, and I wasn't comfortable with the idea that somebody wasn't good enough unless they had some fake stuff done to them. That doesn't sit well with me. That's not good. You should feel happy with who you are, just as you are. And so for that reason, I ditched the eyelashes, because they didn't align with my morals about how I wanted to feel. Again, this is no judgment for anyone else who wants to put false eyelashes on, if they want to, or fake anything else for that reason. It's just me personally. I would rather come to accept and love who I am just as I am than have to be constantly tweaking myself and doing injections here and false this and false that. I don't like that personally. For me, it's not right for me. But what I do is pile on the mascara, because I'm actually a natural kind of dark blonde genetically. My eyes are kind of light greeny bluey, and my eyelashes are actually quite long. If I can look sideways, I can't look at you at the same time. My eyelashes are actually quite long, but they're half blonde, so you can't see them, and they look like little stubbly eyelashes. So if I put mascara on, that's generally personally all I need. I tend to put a good couple of layers on of this is the Maybelline false lash effect. So I'm going for one that promotes itself as looking like false lashes. All I interpret that to be is it gives you nice, thick, long eyelashes, which is what you want from any mascara, I would have thought. But anyway, I've been a fan of this one for years. I like the brush style. I find it easy to put on. I'll generally do a couple of layers of this with a little bit of drying time in between. And then I like to, my latest trick is finish it off with some waterproof to hopefully kind of seal it. So as I said, modelling work can be really quite physical. You're moving around a lot, you're sweating, sometimes you're under hot lights, and that sweat can mean that things like mascara can leak a little bit and cause kind of dripping effects or just marks around. So if I seal it with a waterproof one, in my head, I'm preventing that from happening, or hoping to prevent it from happening. Whether that's reality, whether I've just made that up, I don't know. But that's what I do. I do 2 layers of that one and then a layer of the waterproof one. Now, I have some really, really, really old bronzing palettes from when I studied beauty therapy years ago. This must have been, well, I was about 20, so we're talking a long time ago. I won't tell you my age. A long time ago, and I still have, this is the brush, the Max Factor bronzing blush that my stepmom gave me when I was 13 years old. Yes, you heard that right. 13 years old. My stepmom bought me my first little range of skincare products and makeup products, including this brush, and occasionally it gets a wash, but look at the condition of that. 13 years old until now, and I'm still using it to this day. It doesn't let me down. It's still in perfect condition. So I think that I do it again what she showed me. I know this is kind of 80s style applying it, but this is how I learned. This is how I do my makeup. In the cheeks, and that bit there, and that shapes my face and gives me that kind of contouring there. I'm doing it in where it helps to do that kind of puckering up thing, is where you'll be putting it is relative to your face. So rather than just trying to copy someone else and how they do their makeup, that might work for them, but maybe you've got a different shaped face to them. So if you're going to do it on yourself, do what works for you. This is, again, all of this stuff here, I'm just showing you what I do. I'm not telling you how to do your makeup. This is just what I do. So I'm just, and I think it works for me, but that's my face. You have your own face, so you do your own stuff. That's it. We've done bronzer. Right, finally we need lips. So let's find one of my favorites. I do have some that are for the sometimes needed but not very often ones. Like I've got a really dark one here, really dark kind of gothy purpley one. I've also got a lip gloss that's basically the same colour as my lips, but just gloss. It's like wearing clear gloss, really, this one. That I got the discount place in Kent as well. And another one. What else have I got? I've got a really dark gold one that's, I wouldn't say gothy, I would say more steampunky, that one, isn't it? You see it's sort of shimmery, metallic-y. It also goes on slightly differently, this one as well. It goes on with a brush like that, rather than it being a lipstick. And that one gives a metallic look. So sometimes when I'm doing more kind of edgy, gothy, grungy looks, either that dark one or that one will work. Very occasionally, if I want a really natural one, I'll go for the really the pale pink one. It's not that one. It's not that one either. They're the two I was going to show you next. There we go. These are Rimmel lipsticks because I was a 90s teenager. Oops, just told you my age there. Right. That's a really pale one there. They're a really natural look. Because again, being on camera, natural is just fake natural. You don't actually look natural when you look natural. It's painted on natural. The two that I use most often, and these are kind of quite 90s colours as well. These are both Rimmel lipsticks. One is Coffee Shimmer, which I'm sure is the one I used to use when I was a teenager. And the other one is Fudge Brownie. And these are two colours that basically I use for most things. They look glamorous, they look done up, but they don't look particularly grungy or gothy or anything extreme. That's I'd say 95% of the time, these are the colours I'm using. That one's there, if you want to screenshot those names, if you can read them. Put them up the right way would help, wouldn't it? There you go. Rimmel, Coffee Shimmer and Fudge Brownie lipsticks are the ones I use for my colouring. Again, this is just my take on makeup. You do what you want to do. And then finally, this time around, I've got an e.l.f. one. In the past, I have, and I think I might go back to, if I'm being really honest, the Urban Decay one, the setting spray. And that will just a little spritz over the top. Again, it was another thing that my makeup artist sister taught me that makes that much of a difference. It goes from being makeup that you have to constantly keep topping up throughout the day. You use the Huda Beauty setting spray, the setting powder earlier on, and then the setting spray when you completely finish from a distance, not drenching your face, you're just putting a mist over it. That makes the difference between me going out and having to constantly add to my makeup throughout the evening. So catching myself in the mirror at 4 a.m. and my makeup still being like completely attached to my face, and that's not the wine talking. You know, it genuinely is on my face as it is now. I put this makeup on this morning, or must have been 9-10 o'clock, I think. I have topped up powder. It's now about 3 in the afternoon, coming up to 3 in the afternoon. I've topped up powder once or twice, and I showed you on camera, didn't I, a bit of that earlier, the difference it can make between the shine. Let's see if I can find somewhere else. Okay, we've got a bit of forehead shine here coming on now. This is not me having a greasy face. This is just the natural oils of my skin coming through over time. So you can see a little bit of the shine there. Get some powder. Over there. It's gone. See? That's what powder does, and that's what you need more of when you're on camera. So that's what I'll be topping up mostly. So I've topped up powder maybe once or twice. Apart from that, I haven't touched my makeup. And look, completely intact. Everything's still there. And that's the power of the setting powder and the setting spray. So I'll run through quickly one more time everything I use in order, and then I will leave you be. We'll start with the Urban Decay primer. Then we go Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, followed by one of 3 concealers. Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat for lightest coverage, the Benefit one for medium coverage, and the Blunder cover for the heavy coverage. After that, we've got some setting powder. Huda Beauty is my favourite. This is a Revolution one, quite a bit cheaper. Not bad for the price. I think I'm going to go back to Huda Beauty though next time when this runs out. Then the heavy coverage one. Little known brand. I've never heard of them before. I've never heard of them since, but I found them on Google. Heavy coverage powder, Kiko, K-I-K-O. I love this heavy coverage powder, and I top up my makeup throughout the day, and it works brilliantly. Next we have eyes. I simply use one type of eyeshadow, a gold shimmery one. That's not going to apply to many of you. What you've got to use is what suits you. Then I use, this is the Avon. Oh, I forgot to say who it was, didn't I, earlier? Avon, you know, the rep company, you know, they go door to door selling, don't they? The Glimmer Stick. I'll go on Amazon or eBay and I'll buy 3 at a time. I'll be wary of that, by the way, because you can get lots of fake products on eBay and Amazon. But I like to think I'm quite good at spotting a real one. I don't think I've had any fakes. But you do get fake beauty products in there, so be careful because they can irritate your skin and do all sorts of damage. So, Avon Glimmer Stick, black one. It's a crayon one, but it's not one that you have to sharpen. It's the one that, if I put it against my skin there, it's a roll up, scroll up like that. I'm not very good at the liquid eyeliners. I tend to make a mess because I rush it because I've got ADHD. But I like the draw and crayon ones, but I find the wooden ones, they wear down and they scratch your skin a little bit and they're a bit of a faff. Whereas these kind of roll up ones, as it gets worn down, you just roll it up. And that works brilliantly. And that I smudge with the brush that I still can't find. Yes, I can. A really small brush like that. You can see where it's got black on the end of it. Just go like that, right there, over there, just to smudge it a little bit so it doesn't look quite so harsh. After that, we've got a couple of layers of the non-waterproof mascara, followed by a layer of the waterproof to seal it in. And that turns my light eyelashes into dark eyelashes, so you can see them. We've got the blusher. Now, I can't tell you which one blusher I use because, or it's sort of bronzer slash blusher, because I'm using some really old ones that I should really chuck out. I have in the past used Max Factor Bronzing Pearls. I really liked those. That's potentially something I'll go back to. But I haven't quite made my mind up yet whether I prefer bronzing powder or bronzing creams for the cheeks. So I think as I get older, I'm erring more towards the creams because they tend to sort of moisturize a little bit, whereas powder things are better on dry skin. Having said that, my skin's quite oily still, even though I get older. So with my trusty, had since I was 13 years old, bronzing brush. And then lipstick, again, depending on what I'm doing will vary, but my 2 favourites there, Rimmel lipsticks, they're the 2 I'll use at least 90% of the time, 95% of the time. And then finally, a spritz of setting spray. Right, that's it. That's me all done. I don't know how many of you are here who've been here since I started, but I hope you got clips of that. I'm so new to TikTok lives. I don't know if you can watch this again from the start, but here it is anyway. If you can, great. Someone send me a message, let me know if you can watch it from the start. Otherwise, I'll come on. I'm sure I'll do my makeup again. Oh, that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? I was going to come on live and put my makeup on from scratch while on live, while getting ready for work. So I'll do that next time I could see an opportunity to do that for you. All right, I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to look a numpty again and try and work out how to turn this off, because I'm a dinosaur. I love you guys. I love you and leave you. Speak to you soon.